Hi guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to this series and I Was Burnt Alive. And if you haven't seen the ones before, if you could go back and watch them in series, because if you don't watch it in series, none of these videos will make any sense. So anyway, with that in mind, we just left me when I was just bleeding everywhere, and yeah, that was a very uncomfortable moment, and but that was dealt with. So basically that night was the same as always. I had the bad nurse a couple of times that night stabbing me with needles, which was great, but it was what it was. So I just, for the next whether it was the 5 to 7 days situation, we'll say, let's say 5 just to make it easy, of just the usual injections every 3 to 4 hours, dressings done, so just lots and lots of pain and discomfort, and just rinse and repeat. Unfortunately, nothing really changed. I didn't manage to get many visitors because it was a working week at that point in time, so I was just sat in a room watching snooker on BBC2 and just in lots of pain. The only thing that changed is the pain management. They just kept trying different drugs, which wasn't working. So there wasn't an awful lot to say other than what you kind of already know that's been happening to me. So on the 5th day, the day of judgment, we shall call it, it was just, this was a day when my bandages of my legs were coming off. So they were preparing. So that first morning, I was woken up a bit earlier, and they took all my upper dressings off and redressed that. But that was it. They didn't take the bottom off, and they waited for the surgeon and a doctor to come through. And I suppose they want to take it off and look at the same time, rather than have like the nurses take it off and they not see how it is fresh, shall we say. So I'd bled so badly that they had to use one of those little tiny, the vibrating tools that they cut casts off, because it had just gone rock solid. The bandages had just gone hard from my blood. So they come in with a little vibration tool and they're like cutting down, and it doesn't hurt. It's, it's not like that at all. But the anticipation was there, this anticipation of what was going to be under this, is it going to look amazing? And so they get all the way down to the bottom, they get hold of it and they literally like crack it open like an egg. And it's almost like it fizzed. There's almost like, when you watch a film and they open a tomb, like a King Pharaoh's tomb, and they open the sarcophagus and there's that whoosh noise. It was almost like that. And they opened it and it stank. It absolutely stank. And what had transpired is I'd caught a skin eating disease, and it all rotten. All of it was rotten and green and brown and manky and absolutely disgusting. It was reeking, absolutely reeking. So yeah, that was, not only was it horrendous as in it stank and it looked disgusting, it's just put me back to the beginning, literally back from when I was burnt, if not worse, because I've now got this bug. So straight away, they take everything off and they clean what they can clean, and I'm then scheduled for a bath. And I'm like, this is awful, but no one can beat a nice hot bath. It's just really relaxing, and so I actually, when they said that you're going to have a hot bath, I was looking forward to it. Yeah, it's how things can lull you into a false sense of security. So about an hour later, they put me on this like a pump up chair specifically for it. So they put me on this pump up chair and they wheel me into the bathroom, where the bath is. And it's one of these baths that can raise and lower. So what the nurse did, bless her, she was a lovely, lovely lady, and she took all of the bandages off that would come off easily, and anything that was stuck, like in a scab or just like stuck to skin. She said, what I'll do, she said, we'll put you in the bath with it all on, let everything soften, and then I'll gently take them off in the bath. Because that way then, you know, we won't do as much damage. It shouldn't be as painful. You know, she's just constantly thinking of my comfort, which, you know, lovely. So, you know, she takes off what she can take off, and there's a lot still on me. It's, you know, it's very, very uncomfortable. And she jacks me up, puts me over the bath, and she lowers me down to the edge of the water and then stops. And then what she said then, she said, you know, this is going to be very painful. And the bath is incredibly hot because of the bugs and stuff, and there's this red tinge to it. She put this red fluid in, which is obviously, I'm guessing, an antivirus and whatever else. And she said, so what I'm going to do, I'll give you the controls to the bath, and you can raise it up to yourself and just deal with the pain, she said, because at least that way I'm not putting you in and you're just in excruciating agony. And so, you know, again, you know, bless her. So she gives me the controls, and I'm like raising it up, and it's on my bums, fine. Gets to my ankles, fine. Starts hitting my leg. Now, the burns start at the top of my ankle and then go all the way up my leg to my groin. And as soon as it hit the burnt part of my leg, just searing pain. It's like being set on fire again. But, you know I've got to go in this. I know this has to happen. So I just like pressing the button, inching myself into the bath, just inch. And it's just, I'm shaking through just sheer pain. It's just absolute agony. And I'm getting deeper and deeper. And yeah, it's just like, it's that much pain. I actually see everything going a bit floaty. You know, I'm a bit kind of, it's almost like I'm kind of close to unconsciousness, but not quite. You know, my eyesight goes a bit blurry and zooms in and comes back, and then the room spins a little bit, and it was just the agony. And then eventually, time scale wise, it felt like it took me forever to get myself into the bath. And bless her, the nurse just stood there, just stroking my shoulder and my arm and just saying, don't worry, there's no time limit. You just put yourself in at your own time. Don't worry, it doesn't matter. So, eventually I'm waist deep now. So all of the bottom half of my body is in the water. Now that's where all the full thickness burns were. That obviously my upper is burnt, but it's not as bad. And so I get myself in. I'm like, okay, I'm in. I'm ready. And she goes, no, don't worry. I'm not going to touch you for a minute. I just want you to kind of acclimatise to the heat and the pain before I start taking stuff off you and adding to it. She said, so just sit there and just try and deal with it first, and then I'll start helping you take stuff off, and we'll start getting stuff off then. Because she did say to me that I can take the stuff off myself, just be gentle, and if I feel anything tugging, don't keep pulling, just stop and we'll try and tease it off. So, she's even allowing me to help myself get these things off, because obviously you can always inflict pain on yourself more than someone else doing it for you. It's just, it's an odd feeling, but it's true. It's very true, because you know your own pain threshold, and if someone else does it, it's like a surprise. It hurts more. Where you do it, you know. So, that helped a lot. So, yeah, she was swabbing down my leg where all the rotten skin was, and it was just coming off, literally just wiping off me. And yeah, that was incredibly painful. Actually, I can honestly say it was more painful than the burns. Now, whether that's because with the burns I was in a lot of shock, so that the pain register wasn't as high. And this, obviously, I was wide awake. I knew what was going on, so my pain register is just peaking. I don't know, but it was, at that point in time, felt more painful than being burnt. So anyway, I was in that bath for a long time because there was a lot of stuff we had to take off and a lot of stuff that had to be done. So, you know, I was in there for quite a while, and yeah, it was an incredibly painful situation, but you know, we got over it. And then once everything was off and I was deemed clean, she, you know, I gave her the controller, she lowered the bath away from me, which was another weird one because this bath was so red hot. When I come out, I was like freezing cold because you know, all this stuff's off me and everything's really, really tender. So all my nerve endings are like firing. So then to suddenly come up into this, wouldn't have been cold air, but considering the bath was so hot, felt like cold air. It was just like my whole body was tingling with pain just from the, you know, cold air. So that was not very nice. And anyway, so she wheels me away from the bath and lowers it back down again, and then starts to redress me, put all my dressings back on. And, you know, and again, she's amazing. She's really gentle. She just, you know, asks constantly, oh, you know, am I doing this too hard? And I've said, just, you know, I wasn't rude to her at all. You know, she's doing amazing work, but I just said, to be honest with me, it's almost better if you just, you know, just get on with it and I'll just deal with it, and, you know, and I'll sit down in a minute and cope with it. But, you know, she was all about just trying to save me from suffering. And, you know, it was, you know, for the conditions, bless her, she did amazing. So that was that. She fully dressed me, took me back into my room, put me back onto my bed, and then like reconnected up drips and whatever else was connected to me. And then put the snooker back on, and that was that. And I laid there, and I think the gravity of what had just happened kicked in. Now, not the bath, but my burns, my skin grafts that hadn't taken. And that was really upsetting. That put me back a bit because I was feeling really, really positive to that point. I was feeling like this is going forwards. Yes, it's hurting, but it's going forwards and it's getting better. So, you know, I was positive for the bad situation, and that put me back, and I was quite down about that, and I felt really quite emotional about it. I found it hard to kind of comprehend that it went wrong. And then no more than 20 minutes after being in the room, this another nurse come in, and she said, unfortunately, because of what's happened, this skin eating disease that I had, everyone that come in had to obviously wash their hands, wash everything. They had to wear aprons, face masks, because obviously I'm in a specialist burns ward unit and they don't want it spreading. So now it's almost become even more impersonal because you can't see much of people's faces, and it just added another bad dimension to an already bad situation. So that was very upsetting as well. And it sounds silly that, you know, seeing people with face masks and stuff is upsetting, but it just added to the loss of like the skin graft that went wrong and whatever else. And so mid-afternoon that same day, the surgeon come back and he was explaining what he thought had gone wrong and what the next steps were. And basically, the next steps were obviously once I'd got over the skin eating disease, which meant nothing could be done to me other than keeping me clean until the skin eating disease had gone. So that's more time added for nothing really happening, which is again upsetting. They were going to take the skin grafts from the same area that they took before. He said, so unfortunately, that's like, I don't know why, to be fair, but that's the only real viable place they can take it from, which will go well with where it's going. You know, obviously, any of you will know this better than I do, but this is what I was told. And unfortunately, because they have to take it from the same place and it's already gone from there, it's shock horror gonna be very uncomfortable as well. And to be fair, you know, I'll skip on a bit. I am now quite badly scarred from where they took the skin grafts, because they took it again from the same place. So obviously they went deeper, and yeah, that scar is still there. It wasn't just a quick skim off and, you know, it'll heal up lovely. I am quite badly scarred there from where the skin grafts to fix the other parts of my legs had come from. So yeah, that was not nice to know that they had to go over that. So not only am I hurting everywhere, even a place that didn't hurt at all to begin with is now going to be just as uncomfortable as the rest of me. So yeah, very, very emotional day, that. Very, very emotional day. So that was the end of that day, other than injections every 3 to 4 hours and, you know, whatever else. So the following day, this was a bad day. The following day after that day was a very, very bad day. And I thought it couldn't get worse to that point. And it just got a whole lot worse. So that morning, the bad nurse came in to see me, and she gave me my injection the usual way of, might as well have thrown it from the other side of the room. And after she gave me the injection, she told me that she was giving me a bath. And my heart sunk. Because if this woman can manage to hurt me doing an injection, a tiny little injection that no one else seems to manage to hurt you with, how on earth is a bath going to go? And do you know what? Hand on heart, I was scared, truly scared at this proposition. And she said she'd be back in an hour to come and get me and do the bath. And for that hour, I was genuinely scared. I was genuinely worried and nervous and felt nauseous. I felt sick because I knew how painful the one I'd had the day before was. So, and that's with this amazing nurse who just was so caring and so gentle and so thoughtful. And now I've got someone that might as well have been a WWE wrestler wanting to give me a bath. And yeah, I can't put it into words how scared I was and how worried I was about having a bath. So the hour came, and she came in and she wheeled me into the room where the bath was. And so picture the scene. I'm sat in this hydraulic chair waiting for the bath, sat next to me, and I'm genuinely panicking and I'm worried. And she starts to take my dressings off. And she takes everything off that comes off comfortably, comes off easily. And then she starts pulling off the stuff that's stuck. There's stuff stuck that the nurse before let soak and let me take things off. And there's stuff stuck. And she's just pulling them off. And I'm bleeding everywhere, and I'm in absolute agony. And literally she's doing it. I'm saying, "Ow, can you stop? Can you not do that? Can we wait?" No. They've got to come off when you're in they've got to be off before you get in the bath. It's the protocol. And I'm like, but the lady before didn't do that. Oh, well, she's wrong. I'm right. This is all going to come off. And she just kept taking them off and taking them off and taking them off. And I said, "Well, can I help?" No, don't you touch you. You could ruin our good work, she's saying. And I just in absolute screaming agony. I just can't put it into words how much pain I'm in and how she's scaring me. You know, I'm a 21-year-old young man, and I'm scared to get in a bath with this person. And she's just ripping this stuff off me. Ripping. And yeah, wow. The pain I was just getting, and the blood, I was just bleeding like there was blood all over this hydraulic chair, and I didn't know what to do with myself. I was truly lost, and to the point where I ended up just going back inside my head and just trying to deal with the pain and just closing my eyes and just feeling the ripping of these things coming off my body, and the pain. So in the end, I heard, "Right, that's it all off. Let's get you in the bath." I thought, well, that's one semi-relief just about to be covered by what's going to be even worse than the last one, because now I've got all these open bleeding wounds that she just created. So she jacks it up, she puts me over the bath, and I put my hand out for the control, and she just puts me in. She just raises the bath straight up to my waist, just so my bottom half's in the water. And I just absolutely, I can't even put into words the pain that made burning alive feel comfortable. It was just searing pain. And I was just shaking my entire body. It was uncontrollably. I wasn't shaking because I wanted to be. I was uncontrollably just shaking and shaking and shaking. And I didn't know what to do. I couldn't move. Every slight movement I made hurt, and I'm shaking and I'm moving because I'm shaking, and it's just agony. And I just sat, again, it's like there's just so much pain. I can't cry, I can't scream, I can't shout, I can't do anything. I'm just in agony, absolute agony. And she just stood by me looking in the water, and she says, oh, look at that. Do you know what? I think I can take that off. And like, all the pain's gone. I mean, in a nanosecond, I'm like, what's she talking about? What on earth is she talking about taking off? So I quickly, like, I'm scanning. I'm like, what's it? And on my lower left calf, there's a big flap of skin just moving in the water. And you can see inside my leg. Literally, you can see inside my leg. I'm like, please tell me she's not talking about taking that off. And she comes over, a pair of tweezers and a pair of scissors. I'm like, oh my God. She genuinely is going to try and cut that off my leg. And I just don't know what to do. I'm so scared. I'm so scared. I'm in so much pain and I'm shaking. I'm like, the more I shake, the more I move, the more likely she's going to do more damage and hurt me even more. So she says, stop moving. I can't get to it if you keep moving. I'm like, what am I supposed to do? Truly, what am I supposed to do? I can't stop shaking because I'm in so much pain. And she goes into the water. I'm like, right, Adam, deal with this. Stop moving. For God's sake, stop moving. And I feel it tug. So I feel her holding it. It's not moving. And I look down and in go the scissors. And I'm just like, cringe. Come on, just stop moving, Adam. Please stop moving. And then I don't feel it personally as in an ouch, because it's not an ouch situation because it's dead skin. But I feel the tug go. And she goes, oh, there we go. That's that gone. And I'm like, oh, breathe. You're okay? Oh, good grief, what was that? And then the tingling all comes back and I start panicking again because I'm just burning. And she goes, oh, do you know what? I think I can get more of that. And I'm like, what? There's no flap. There's nothing hanging. How can you take that off me? It's fully attached. There's now a big hole that goes into my leg that I can see inside my leg. But she wants to take more of it. How can you do that? There's nothing to hold on to. And she's leaning over the bath with the tweezers and scissors. What's going on? And yeah, I'm lost for words. I was lost for words. And of course, exactly what you're all thinking is going to happen, happens. She just puts the tweezers straight into the inside of my leg, misses everything, and just goes doink into my muscle. And I just go, and I literally scream out loud, and I go fetal. I just ball up. I clench my fist, and I just ball up in absolute agony. And she goes mental at me, absolutely mental at me. Gets all angry. She then goes around to the other side of the bath. She jacks the thing up, pulls me straight out, puts all my bandages on. She's muttering to herself and huffing and puffing. And I'm like, what's wrong? What's going on? What's with all this anger? And she doesn't talk to me, doesn't say a word, just really, really roughly bandages me back up, puts all the stuff on. And to give you an idea of how roughly she redresses my wounds, by the time she's finished, they're all pure red again. I've just bled all the way through all of the bandages. I'm just in so much pain and so much agony. And I'm so confused. I'm like, you've just basically stabbed me with a pair of tweezers and got angry with me because I've balled up because I'm in absolute agony. So anyway, she wheels me back into my room, literally dumps me on the bed and storms off out the room. And that's it. And I'm sat there and everything is ruined. Like the bed's covered in blood. I'm covered in blood. So I give it a few minutes thinking she'll be back and, well, I have to redress all of this, unfortunately. But no, nothing. So I give it a few minutes more and I think, well, sod it. And I press the panic button. And a different nurse come in, thank God. And she's like, oh my God, what's happened to you? So I explained the situation and she went and got another nurse and they completely redressed me again. Now, considering I'm in abject pain and terror, I had to go through all the bandage changing again, which, you know, they were delicate, but I was in so much pain. It was just as bad, to be fair. It's not their fault. It was the bad nurse's fault. But they completely redressed me, had to remake the bed because of the mess. And, you know, they left me when it was all done. And I just laid there and just, lost is the word to lose. I was lost. I was in so much pain. I didn't know what to do. I was completely confused with the situation and why I'd been treated the way I'd been treated. What had I done? Had I said something or, you know, but I just don't know. I don't know what went wrong at that point in time. I do now, but I didn't at that point in time know what had gone wrong or what I'd done. So I just laid there completely lost. Just the TV was on. It was on. I wasn't paying attention to it. I was on my own. You know, I didn't know what to do with myself. It was just one of those where 24 hours of my life just disappeared. I went through the injections and, you know, being asked about food and stuff. And to be honest, it all was a blur. That next 24 hours was a total blur. So I think I'll leave it there for now. I hope you've enjoyed it up to now and let me know in the comments what you think and how things are going. And like and subscribe and I'll see you next one. Cheers, guys.